Okay, breaking news. In a heartbreaking turn of events that has cast a shadow of grief over the country, one of the twin boys who was separated in a complex surgery at Limpopo's Mankweng Hospital has died just weeks after the procedure. The infant suffered multiple organ failure after post-surgery infections set in. Doctors confirmed the boys were joined at the abdomen and shared some organs, making the condition both complex and life-threatening from the very beginning.
Now we want to shift our focus and bring you this devastating breaking news. We understand that the twins, conjoined twins that were separated at the Mankweng Hospital in Limpopo, one of them has unfortunately died. Under very tragic news, given that it was a operation that was widely celebrated, a first of its kind at specifically the Mankweng Hospital. Even President Cyril Ramaphosa expressing his gratitude to the team and also lauding them, given the fact that they are quite under-resourced.
Absolutely. We saw the health minister even go to the institution to see firsthand the circumstances under which this groundbreaking surgery, we understand, was conducted. It's going to be news that's going to take a lot of people by surprise, because the update we'd received at the time was that mother and children in this case were doing well. So really devastating what we're learning at this point, that one of those twins has sadly passed away. The exact circumstances surrounding what happened at this stage still unclear.
But most certainly many people would know that with such procedures they do carry quite a huge risk if you're going to separate conjoined twins, and it's something that is always constantly stated beforehand, that there is a possibility of mortality, also a possibility of severe complications. Most certainly one procedure that was performed and still lauded because it did indeed come with many risks. But we'll bring you more details as the day progresses around.
Limpopo Premier Phophi Ramathuba confirmed the death today, saying the medical team had done everything in their power to save the child. Speaking with visible emotion, Ramathuba said the baby tried to recover. We thought we were out of danger. After 2.5 weeks, we were confident. Unfortunately, the past 2 days, the condition just changed. Last night, the condition changed for the worst. The Premier added that she rushed to Mankweng Hospital in the early hours of the morning, primarily to support the medical team and the grieving mother.
The Premier of Limpopo, Phophi Ramathuba, thank you very much for your time, Dr. Ramathuba. Of course, devastating news. Kindly share with us what you know.
Morning and morning to your viewers out there. I think as the provincial government, firstly we'll want to send our message of condolences to the Stolle family, because around late last night, one received a call because we usually receive updates from the team to say our twin A it's not doing well, and early hours of the morning he succumbed to multi-organ failure as a result of preliminary diagnosis could be sepsis, septicemia resulting from infections. What we just want to reassure the public is that the team did everything in their power, because when you look at neonates, neonatology on its own, that unit, most of the babies are prone to infection, and because of the immune system, it's still weak. And Prof. Chief Laro want to even demonstrate using our African culture that grandmothers will refuse you to visit a baby when it's a newborn, because we're protecting the baby from infections. They don't have a strong immune system that can fight any infection. So that is one of the major challenge that you have post-op. Even with us adults, post-op infection becomes one of those causes of post-operative complications and death. Now, the team it's busy. Autopsies we have met, we have analyzed. The public can know that since the operation, because in an operation of this nature, you will have the pre-stage, which is the pre-op stage, the first stage. We have been able to successfully prepare our babies, because sometimes conjoined twins, when they are born, they might die before even that operation. We succeeded on our pre-op, and then during operation, which is the most critical stage, the operation was a success and the babies were discharged from theater to ICU. So the first 2 weeks of ICU are also very critical, 2.5 weeks. Now we have been able to survive up to date, unfortunately. What we could be suspicious is that day 5 and 6, when the twins started to show signs of not doing well, they were even taken back to theater. Prof did. The other twin, it's doing well, has been extubated, breathing on nasal prawns, also feeding from the breast milk. But this other one, twin, has not been able to come out, so could not fight that infection. Hence, we find ourselves where we are today. So unfortunately, he succumbed to this complication early hours of this morning.
Premier Ramathuba, thank you very much for your time. And
the news comes as a devastating blow to a country that had only weeks ago been united in celebration. Limpopo made history on March 17 when the conjoined twin boys were successfully separated in a complex 8-hour surgical procedure, the first of its kind ever performed in the province and a landmark moment for South Africa's public healthcare system. Premier Ramathuba had been at the forefront of that joy. At a media briefing following the operation, she declared this operation represents a historic moment for Limpopo. For the first time in South Africa, a rural hospital has accomplished such a high-scale operation. This achievement changes the landscape of healthcare in our province, close quote.
Once the baby was stabilized, then we went on to do different investigation to see how are they joined, where are they joined. So we set up a multidisciplinary team composed of the pediatrician, the ones that are looking after the patients, the surgeons, the one who are going to divide them, the plastic surgeons, the one that are going to make sure that the closure is perfect, the anesthetist, the one that will make the baby sleep so that when you operate, it's easy for us.
The operation, which started on Tuesday morning, lasted for 8 hours.
7:45 we started, and then by 3:10 we were done. I think that takes us about 8 hours. 8 hours. Took us 8 hours. The babies were joined, the trunk, meaning the body. There were organs that were joined. We had to separate and make them share, and that is a complex surgery. But we delivered. We are very excited about it.
This marks the first successful medical procedure of its kind that was conducted in a rural Limpopo hospital.
This operation represents a historic moment for Limpopo MEC. For the first time in South Africa, a rural hospital has accomplished such a high-scale operation. This achievement changes the landscape of healthcare in our province and reaffirms our belief in the potential of rural hospitals.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has also congratulated the team behind the historic operation.
We thank you for having succeeded in doing this unbelievable, complicated and difficult operation. One thing is, I will never be a doctor, but I'm a doctor by marriage. And I can just imagine how difficult the operation was. So I congratulate all of you, and the nation is filled with pride.
The twins are now stable while being monitored.
President Cyril Ramaphosa had also extended his congratulations, saying, open quote, "I'm just so pleased and happy that you have undertaken a very complicated operation that would normally be done at a top-class hospital," close quote. The country had rallied behind the babies, the mother, and the remarkable team at Mankweng, a rural hospital that had proven it could perform miracles. Today, that pride is tempered by profound sorrow. Please don't forget to subscribe for more news.